Hey there, welcome to kneppyinvests. Now, I'm hoping some of the concepts I brought up in yesterday's video, why are technology stocks crashing, become even more relevant when you watch this video. So I'm sort of hoping it reinforces all those concepts. So if you did watch yesterday's video, you'd know the first thing I do when I wake up every morning is I look to see what happened on the overnight markets, in particular the United States indices. And this is what happened this morning, which is the complete opposite to what happened the previous morning. So yesterday morning, the NASDAQ was down big and the Dow Jones was up. This morning, the Dow Jones was flat, only up 0.1%, while the NASDAQ was up 3.7%. So I didn't have to look at anything else. These are some of the things I knew just by looking at the movements in these indices. I knew all those tech companies I brought up in yesterday's video were going to be up big, but some of the numbers were up even more than I would have anticipated. And the other thing I would know is that the bond yields were going to be down big as well. So let's have a look to see if that's what happened. So these are the tech companies I looked at in yesterday's video, and they're all up big. So Affirm and Snowflake up more than 7%, Mercado Libre up 6%, Apple 4.7%, ARK Invest Innovation Fund up 10.4%, and Tesla takes the cake up 19.6%, and that was helped by some good news coming out of China. So any buy the dip sort of investors would have made a mozza if they bought in at the end of closing the previous day. So I just waited to do this video just after the ASX opened to see how Afterpay and Zip were doing, because those are the two companies I featured in yesterday's video. And you can see Afterpay up 8.5% and Zip up 5.7%. So a little bit disappointed that Zip's only up 5.7. I thought it could have rallied a little bit harder than that. I was hoping maybe share price could be getting towards $10. So that's one slight negative I did see on the open of today's markets. And finally, I just want to have a look at the 10-year bond yields, because the first thing I knew when I did see the NASDAQ up big was that there was going to be a similar sort of decrease in the 10-year bond yields. And there was. The United States 10-year bond yield was down 4% overnight. And you can see, though, that the uptrend in the bond yields is still well intact, and I've indicated that uptrend by that sloping brown line. And one of the reasons why it's still intact is because over the past month or so we've seen an acceleration in the 10-year bond yields, and that means there's a big gap between the uptrend and the bond yields right now. So it wouldn't surprise to see a further decrease in the bond yields over the coming weeks, a really healthy sort of correction, and that would lead to a run in tech stocks over that same period. So don't be surprised if that happens, and that could be a good time to sell some of the tech stocks when they've run a little bit. But in saying all that, I'm making the assumption that reserve banks or central banks around the world don't do any sort of yield curve control. I do believe the Australian Reserve Bank did try that a few weeks ago and completely failed. They tried to rein in the 10-year bond yields because they were growing in Australia, and I think they're the highest in the world right now. They tried to rein it in and completely failed. So don't be surprised if that sort of behavior happens, that sort of manipulation happens in the future to try to rein in 10-year bond yields from growing even further from here. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not a soothsayer or anything like that, but all these sort of possibilities you have to keep in the back of your mind. So that's all I've got on this video. Why did technology stocks just rocket up overnight on the American markets and right now on the Australian markets? Now, I'm not a financial advisor, but technically I am an economist. But because I'm not a financial advisor, if you do need any sort of financial advice, if you hold tech stocks, you're not sure what to do, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's all for this video. Have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.